Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the final round of the PSGL F5 Season 26 Championship. We are here in Brazil, in Sao Paulo, for what will hopefully be an exciting championship deciders, with four drivers mathematically being able to still win the championship. And due to the fact that it's a bit confusing, for my luck, I've got Jake in the commentary box with me once again tonight, and he has run the numbers a little bit, so he can tell you a bit more. But first of all, hello and welcome, Jake, and I hope you are as excited as I am.
Hello, yeah, I'm absolutely buzzing for this. This is the only, of course, we've got 5 tiers that run
Ooh.
on Monday. We've got two of the tiers in F1 and F4 that have got two people got a title between them. In this league, we've got four. It just shows how crazy competitive this league's been. And yeah, I have to say, after running those permutations, my brain was a little bit fried. So I won't go through them all because it might take up the entire stream.
Yeah, I definitely can understand that, but during the race, we can definitely, run through a bit of scenarios, and we can, just keep the viewers updated a little bit with what's going on and who would be in the lead at that exact moment. But as you can see, it's raining in Brazil, and that is probably not what all of the drivers wanted. And I don't know what it looks like for the race, but we all know that Brazil can throw up some exciting races, I'd say, and some rain as well. So do you think the rain might be a factor in the race as well?
Could potentially be. It is one of those circuits where weather can play a part, and we know Brazil title deciders. It usually leads to drama. We've had Jenson Button, Sebastian Vettel have to fight back in races to clinch titles here. We of course had that incredible Isaac Glock moment in 2008. So I expect a lot of drama here tonight. And to put it in more simple terms, anyway, in terms of putting the title as clearly as we can, Gavin's in the lead, and so if he wins a championship. And Lewis pretty much needs to win and hope for a miracle, really.
Yeah, well, we've got a 16 points difference in between Lewis and Gavin, but the difference between the top three really isn't that big. The difference in between P1 and P8 and P3 is only 8 points, and in between P1 and P2 in the championship is only 2 points. And what makes it even more dramatic is that Gavin and Ghosts are teammates, so those two will be able to affect each other's strategies, whoever is in front.
And of course, for their sake, the constructors' title's already decided, so the shackles are off tonight. We don't have to worry about helping each other out for the constructors. That's all sorted. Tonight's all about winning the championship. And if you're honest, although Gavin has got a 2-point lead, Ghost has probably been the form man in F5 over the last sort of 4 or 5 races. He's actually got 3 wins in the last 5 races. So although Gavin's got the slender margin in the points, I would argue that potentially Ghost is the favourite.
Yeah, definitely. Ghost has shown some great form over the last couple of races, and he's really picked up his championship fight in that second half of the season, and that's what he needed to do to be in this situation as he is right now. And yeah, those two have been very consistent, especially in the second half of the season. The only race that really stands out for me is China, where Ghosts didn't score any points, and his teammate Gavin only scored 1 point, so finished 10th in the end. So that was a struggle for them, but maybe today they can just show what they're made of, and in the end it's going to be one man out there who's going to clinch the title.
Absolutely. As Scholl sets the benchmark, I don't really know what the sort of times we're looking for here in the wets, as Ghost already goes half a second quicker. But yeah, we've had 10 different winners in 13 races this season in F5, and it's strange to think that Miku, who's third in the championship, hasn't won a race. I don't think, has there ever been a situation where a title winner hasn't won a race in a season? I'd love to know.
I don't think it was. At least I can't remember any, special occasions as that would be. But currently, Ghosts set the benchmark, but no, Nino, half a second in front of anyone else. And if I'm honest, I think if someone who is not in the championship fight could spoil the party, it would be Nino tonight, because he has got the pace and has just not had the luck over the whole course of this season. Otherwise, I think he would have been in that championship fight tonight.
Absolutely, although we have got Gelato, who's on a very strong lap here, and he goes into the 1 minute 15s. So I wonder if the track's getting slightly drier, because the times do already seem to be coming down ever so slightly, but that's a nice lap from Gelato as well, and you do wonder, how will the title contenders approach this? I imagine Lewis will be going flat out, but will Ghost and Gavin be slightly defensive, slightly cautious?
Speaking of flat out, we saw Leon going off the track in the last corner. In those conditions, that's not really rare. He still crosses the line and goes 10th and last off the drivers who have set an actual lap. Lewis is 9 tenths quicker than his previous best lap, loses the rear end though through this tricky double right-hander. But yeah, Brazil, I think a beautiful track for a finale. I mean, we all know what happened here in some previous years. We all remember 2007 where Kimi Räikkönen won the championship by a single point, with Lewis Hamilton having so many issues, having so many troubles. We can all remember Michael Schumacher, who tried to fight back, who tried to show what he's made of, who did show what he's made of, but still couldn't win the championship against Fernando Alonso. And yeah, then of course 2008, you talked about it, Felipe Massa being world champion for around about 30 seconds, but then having it taken away by Lewis Hamilton, who overtook Timo Glock in the last corner on the last lap in a rain-affected Brazilian Grand Prix. And yeah, only 4 years later, Sebastian Vettel, of course. I think many of us will have that in their minds very clearly still, when Vettel was spun round by Bruno Senna on lap 1 in exactly this corner right here, turn 4. And fought his way back up to P6, and with that won the championship against Fernando Alonso, who had a major moment out of turn 3. So I think turn 3 in general, it's tricky in the wet, but it's also tricky in the dry, I'd say. But if it rains in the race, I think that could be a place where we could see some crashes here and there.
No doubt about it. It will be interesting to hear, so we know what the going to be like a race, but will it affect some of the setups that drivers are using, I wonder? Because we've got a maybe slightly surprising top 3 at the moment, and I think Cortez might be about to break into that as well. Yes, he goes 3rd quickest. So right now we're in a situation where none of the top 4 are in the championship fight. So I think that just sums up F5 as a tier, really. It's been like this all season. We never really know what's going to happen from 1 week to the next.
It really does sum up F5. I mean, what a great tier we've got here, as Gelato goes even sorry for that, even quicker than before, 4/10 of a second ahead of Nino now. And I think the track is getting quicker, and it might be a thing of perfect timing, and that might decide who comes out on top at the end of this quali session, who's going to cross the line last, who's going to risk the most, and who is going to go for the safer option and have maybe a 30-second margin to the 0-second line and to the end of quali, because obviously the margins in Formula 1 are very, very tight. And if you just misjudge, as Ghosts loses the rear end and nearly spins out, but invalidates with that one, so that won't be an improvement. But yeah, we all know how tricky it is in F1, and Cortez has just crashed out or retired. I'm not sure. I think he crashed out.
Yeah, he's crashed out. Wow, that's a massive crash.
Yeah.
Just saw it with Miku, as Miku's actually about to go up into 2nd. He actually was on a very, very nice lap. He maybe lost a bit of time through Young Xiao. I apologise if I pronounced that wrong, but it's pretty much it's not the final corner, but in the dry it pretty much is the final corner in effect, because the next sort of few turns after that are just flat out easy in the dry.
And I think we can also remember, I don't know about you, but I have it pretty clearly in my mind when in 2016 we had such an awfully long stretched race with so much rain, and Max Verstappen making up 11 places in 11 laps. That was incredible, driving into P3. And obviously we had Hamilton versus Rosberg on the cards there, where Hamilton won. And I can remember Verstappen only spinning round in that final part, which you just talked about, because he hit the curb on the inside just that tiny little bit and immediately spun the car around. He was able to save it, but yeah, if you just slightly go off your line, if you slightly touch a curb in the wet, which is not really a curb you should touch, then it might send you into the wall spinning and losing your tire maybe and retiring from the session. But I just hope that we will have an exciting championship decider. And right now, it doesn't look like the championship contenders are already up there, except from Miku.
Indeed, but Ghost, as you say that, Ghost is on a really quick lap. He's over a second up on his previous effort as he goes now over the final few turns. They are a little bit tricky in the wet, actually, especially if you touch the curb, as Cortez obviously did. And it's looking like Ghost is about to take provisional pole position away. Yes, he does, a 15.3. And of course, the more this track dries up, the more it affects Cortez, because he isn't going to improve now having crashed out. And he's actually got 2 podiums in the last 2 races, so it would be a shame for him on the form he's in if this really costs him, as Gavin goes up into 3rd. Not quite the Rhett Williams front row just yet.
Yeah, but that track is definitely dry. Miku drops down to 4th with that one. Let's see what Nino can do. I'm not sure if he's starting his lap. Yes, he is. He's got a fully charged battery. He's got Leon ahead. Not sure if Leon's on the lap. Let's go on board with Leon. And yes, he is. So that might affect Nino, because we all know how quick he can be if he just gets it together more than 1.5 tenths up. And yeah, that track is definitely getting quicker and quicker with each and every minute.
It's funny you mention that, because Ghost is actually going for a 3rd flying lap, so he clearly put a bit of fuel in his car. And is he going to improve? Yeah, he's a 1/4 second up again, so Ghost is finding a lot of confidence out there. And like I said, timing's going to be absolutely key here. You can see some drivers are just waiting it out in the pits, maybe waiting for the optimum time to go out. The one good thing about this track in that regard is that it's quite a short lap, so it doesn't take too long to get back to the pits, as Ghost does a 15 flat, and that's sending out a statement.
Yeah, definitely. Ghost is showing that he wants to win that championship tonight. And if he wins, nobody can take it away from him. Nobody will be able to get back past him, as Simics goes 2nd, Kev goes 3rd fastest. Let's see where Nino goes. Nino should improve massively, and yes, he does. Not even 1/2 tenth in between him and Ghost, though. And yeah, Nino showing once again that he's got the pace, and he wants to finish the season off on a high.
We're seeing at times tumbling here, back into what we're saying about track conditions. Everyone seems to be finding time out there. Everyone, that is, with the exception of Lewis, who does seem to be slightly struggling at the moment, down in 12th, and he's been out for a few laps, but clearly not got the best of us conditions, as Hausman has had a crash in Sector 2, I believe that is. And
Yep.
that's his qualifying session over.
Don't know if you can remember the crash in between Sutil and Trulli in 2009, where they had quite a funny argument one race later in Abu Dhabi in the press conference. I think everyone was entertained by that one. But yeah, that just shows how tight it can be on lap 1 especially, and the track is not really that wide through this part, so you can't really go side by side. But the corner where Lewis just went through the slow right-hander, we can all remember it from Alex Albon versus Lewis Hamilton last year, where Alex Albon's podium hopes were crushed as Nino goes even quicker. We can all remember that crash, and yeah, that just proved how easy it can be to just misjudge a situation, as Lewis at least goes 6th fastest for the moment, even though he lost the rear end completely out of the last corner.
Yeah, we've got Miku about to finish a lap. What does this do for him? Only up 1 place to 8th. The one thing I'm saying, while the times are coming down, what I would say is consistently, at least, Gelato and Nino seem to be near the sharp end of the field, which is definitely a sign that those two are maybe going to be the ones to get involved with the title contenders tonight.
Yeah, that could actually be a thing, and I think Ghosts would rather not have that, because it looks like he's got some more pace than Gavin. At least it looked like that in the last couple of rounds. And if Ghosts is just able to, do his own thing, win the race, then nobody can take it away from him, obviously. But if he finishes in 3rd and Gavin finishes 4th, then there might be a fastest lap coming into play as well. And that is a risk then. But if he just finishes 1st, everything will be settled. But with Nino and Gelato in this lobby, it could be very difficult indeed.
It's going to be really interesting to see who calls this right. A lot of people back in the pits now. maybe preparing for their final runs, but we have still got some people out on track. The only one who hasn't done a lap time yet is Matt, who's actually just about to finish one, I believe. So we'll see what this does for him. Matt was someone at the start of the season who looked like he could potentially challenge for a championship, but it's just kind of fell away, really, in the second half of the season. He goes up to 10th for now, but yeah, a bit bizarre, really, for Matt. His form looks really good to begin with, but he just doesn't seem to have recaptured that in recent races.
It's a bit sad to see, to be honest. Had some troubles over the whole course of the season. But yeah, I think we had to expect the unexpected so far in F5. And I think we have to do the same today in Brazil. But who knows? Everyone in F5 basically could win a race. And also a man who looked to be in the championship fight earlier on in the season. He is the man who just lost the rear end completely. Puma out here in the McLaren. He looked so strong towards the start of the season, but then suddenly dropped down at some point and just never could really get back up. And yeah, it's just a bit disappointing to see for him.
Definitely, he's wrestling this McLaren round for all it's worth. He doesn't look particularly comfortable with it, I have to say. Although, having said that, he's finding a lot of time, so he's struggling to keep it on the road, but he's finding time by doing so. And he's about to come to the line now. I mean, he can't drop any positions, so this is definitely going to improve his position. Where's he going to go across the line? I think he'll go 10th. Yes, he will. 15.8.
Oh, good guess there.
There's quite a... Yeah, there's a weirdly big gap between Kev and Matt I thought he was going to slot into. That's probably the first accurate guess and prediction I've made all season.
And Ghost is starting his run now. I think he's going to go for 2 runs in a row once again. In the rain, the ERS should be working with that. Schultz just left the session. I'm glad that they fixed the corner cutting glitch so people can actually rejoin. Let's see. In the first sector, he slightly improves. And even if you improve just ever so slightly, that might help you in the end in terms of your grid position. And let's see what Ghost can do here as he flies through the second sector. Now up the hill he goes. And that's a really tricky spot here. You can easily lose the rear end. That looks nice and tidy. And he shifts down into... No, he doesn't shift down into second. He stays in third, then quick shifts into fourth to get the traction down. And now in second gear through here. Early shift up once again, then up into fourth, 5, and then 6th. And you can see he's not really using the revs to keep the revs at a minimum to get more traction. And out of the last corner, he slightly loses that traction, but he is going to improve. But will that bring him up a couple of positions? Let's see. He could take provisional pole right now, but will he? No, he won't. Lost quite a lot of time in the last sector. Let's see what Gavin does. Gavin is 2/10 up on his time, so he might go ahead of his teammate here. Let's see though. As he comes across the line, then he takes the shortest run, but no, he doesn't really. But he goes ahead of his teammate, which is crucial for him.
And Nino's absolutely flying here. I think he's about to take provisional pole position back again. It looks like the track conditions have stabilised somewhat, but that's not stopping
Wow.
Nino. He goes to a 14.3, significantly quicker than the rest of the field. And now I guess the next focus will be on Gelato, see what he can do. He's currently just coming up to the end of the Sector 2. He's marginally up, but he has got a slow McLaren ahead of him, so I don't know if that's someone recovering. Lewis is now retired as well, so he won't be going any faster.
Yeah, Lewis, quite a disappointing quality. And Miku has misjudged his timing. Miku will not be able to set another lap. He came over the line right at the death, but right after the death. But let's see what Gelato does. He's currently slightly up on his time. Can he take provisional pole? No, he can't. He slightly improves, but will that be enough to stay ahead of Gavin, who is fighting in the championship? Ghosts is not able to gain another position. Let's see. And Gavin is not looking like he can pick up another position. So it seems like Nino's going to take pole, and none of the championship contenders are going to be on the front row.
And let's just have a game third and fourth, because we have got Cymix here. Like he's on a really strong... was my timing a glitch there. It looks like he's about to do 1:13, but he came across the line and didn't improve. Thank you, Co-Masters, for that one. Kev is the last one, I think, to improve, but he
goes
does
P5.
improve, but only to fifth, just behind the two Williams cars. Good effort there from Kev. But I have to say there, Nino is just absolutely unstoppable, and it's not the scenario I think Gavin and Ghost would have wanted, but I suppose on the positive for them, Miku and Lewis have had real disasters of the sessions, particularly Miku missing a checkered flag there.
Yeah, and that is what your grid for the finale looks like. Nino takes pole by quite some margin, 3/10 of a second ahead of second place Gelato. Then the two championship contenders, two of the four we've got tonight, Gavin and Ghost in the championship order actually. Then we've got Kev with a strong lap right at the death of the session, goes P5. Then we've got Leon in sixth, Lewis still with a mathematical chance of the championship down in seventh though. Then we've got Simics in eighth. Then we've got Miku, another championship contender in ninth, and Puma rounds up the top 10 then. And with quali being over, do you think that Gavin will have more pace than Ghost and maybe, can regain a bit of momentum against Ghost, who's got such a great run lately?
And it looks like we've got a dry race first and foremost. Well, dry to start with. We don't know what Brazil weather can throw up. But yeah, I actually think Gavin will be very happy with that in terms of the fact that he's ahead of Ghost, because I think even he would probably admit that Ghost usually has a tenth or two over him at most tracks we go to. And it looked at, for the start of qualifying, that was going to be the case again. So for me, I think for Gavin to get ahead of Ghost there was really important for him. I think he'll be happy with that going into the race, but I guess what'll be interesting to see now is, particularly for Nino, he had such great pace in the wets, but did he maybe sacrifice a dry setup slightly to do that? We'll see now if he's got that same pace in a dry.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see, but we definitely got a very exciting finale here upon our hands, and I'm pretty sure it won't disappoint for us tonight. And we've got both Williams, both championship contenders, both main championship contenders, I should rather say, in the second row on this grid. But Nino looks to be the man to beat in terms of pace tonight and for the race win. And then we still got Gelato, who looked quite quick as well. And we've got quite some sunset here, it looks like. And we've got the predicted strategy, soft to hard or medium to hard. And let's just take a quick look at tyres. And it seems like there are only a couple of drivers who are not starting on the mediums. We've got both Williams on the mediums. We've got Nino on the Williams. Then we've got Gelato on softs, interestingly enough. Lewis, with the least chances for this championship win tonight, starts on a very odd strategy. Starts on the hard compound, the only one to do so in this field tonight. Then we've got Simics and Miku starting on soft, so Miku going for an aggressive strategy, it looks like. Same as Gelato. And then Matt also on the soft compound, except from that. Everyone else is on the mediums, but let's see which strategy is going to work out best. And in F5, obviously, we should always count in the fact of a safety car, or the possible chance of a safety car, which is not too low in this division, if I'm honest.
Yeah, definitely. And I think there's a couple of surprising strategies in there. Lewis on the hards is slightly odd because, especially now they haven't had to do qualifying on those tyres, soft to medium is very doable. So Lewis obviously needs a pretty big miracle to win his championship, and obviously maybe thought, well, let's go for something completely different and hope it works. Miku on softs, I mean, he's spent the whole season being very consistent, but tonight he's got to win and he's got to hope things go his way. So I can understand that aggressive strategy from his point of view. He needs to make up positions and quickly. But what I'll be interested to see is if Gelato can get the jump on Nino on the soft tyres at the start, because Gelato for sure needs to be ahead, really, to make the softs work, I reckon.
Yeah, that is true, but just to come back to Lewis real quick, he has to make some gambles in this race to make that miracle work, and the gamble is the hard tyre, so I can definitely understand that decision as we are waiting for the lights to come on and to then go out afterwards. And I'm quickly going to disable the tyre compounds so we have a clear view of this start for the final race of the season, as everyone is still loading in. And the lights are coming on for the season finale here in Brazil. And we are off here in Brazil. It seems to be a really good start from Gelato and P2 on the soft compound expectedly. He tries to go down the inside of Nino. They give each other the room. Nino has got the inside line for turn 2 though, but around the outside swoops Gelato. We've got Ghost and Gavin switching positions in the background. Ghost has got the upper hand on his teammate. Is Gavin put under pressure now from behind? It looks like he is, from Simics, and Simics is down the inside now off the Williams of Gavin. Gavin is losing positions here left, right and centre. Might Miku go through? Miku's had a good start. He's up into P6 right now, and Gavin has lost 2 positions from the start.
That's an absolute disaster for Gavin, and now Miku potentially looking up the inside. Is he going to make it stick? I think he has, actually, yes. Is Gavin still there? He is still alongside him, but Miku's got the place as well. So a blinding start from Miku, but Gavin losing positions. It couldn't have gone worse from him, and also a pretty poor start from Leon as well. The good thing is it looks like all 14 drivers have got through everything unscathed, but that's an absolute disaster for Gavin. That's always working qualifying undone.
Yeah, that is the soft tyre for you right there. That was a great start from those guys. We've got Miku gaining 4 position, Simics gaining 4 position. We've got Gavin losing another spot now to Kev, who's not even on the soft compound. Then we've got Ghosts. Now that is just glitch timing. That I thought something happened there, but let's see what Gavin does. Gavin has been overtaken left, right and centre now, and now he's defended from Leon, it looks like. Kev has dropped down once again, so Gavin was able to defend that position. And I hope the timing is not going to be glitched like that throughout the entire race, because that is really confusing me. But we can see a big fight here. Cortez has made up another couple of places now. That was a good second lap, or good start to a second lap for him. Puma goes down the inside of Kev. Can he make the position? Yes, he can. And now Schultz down the inside of his teammate on the soft compound he is. So that might give him that extra grip he needs around the outside now. He's going to turn to the inside into that right hander. Oh, so close in between the Ferraris. Obviously, they've crashed here in real life last season, but down the inside it seems like they kept it clean so far. And yes, Schultz has got the position from Kev, and Kev has dropped down once again. Lewis down to P12 as well.
Did real disaster. I mean, Lewis obviously starting on the hard tyres. It was always going to be a problem for him at the start. Gelato's got an absolute stormer out front. He's already 1.5 seconds clear. And Ghost still under some pressure from Simics. He'll be hoping he can keep him behind in this early phase, because the longer he keeps him behind, the more the medium tyres will start to be effective around here. But yeah, Gavin's got to recover now. It wasn't a good start, but it's always not lost. And we've got Hausman, I think that's at the back, who's had a moment and spun round. Yeah, and he's got damage on his front wing as well, so that's a real disaster for him. He's actually putting some pretty decent performances since he joined F5.
Well, that is also really close in between Matt and Kev. I don't know if you saw that, but Kev slightly lost the rear end, and that nearly resulted in a crash in between those guys, and I am not sure if Ghost would actually enjoy that. But Ghost is currently in a championship winning position, but he's got 2 soft runners right behind him within that 1 second window, and he hasn't got any DRS. The DRS is enabled on this lap, so that might give Simics the chance now to move up into P3, and it's helping Miku as well, because it doesn't let Ghost get away, and Miku needs to finish ahead of both, obviously, both the Williams. And let's see if Simics is now able to get the position. He's in the slipstream. He pulls out to the inside now. And on lap 4, it seems like Ghost has to give way and has to move off the podium positions, and has dropped down to 4th now. And that is not what he would want to see. Let's see if he can fight back, though, on that little straight here. But it seems like Simics has got the straight line speed to stay ahead. Or has he? Yes, he has. For the moment, he has got the spot. And let's see if Simics could actually challenge Nino now.
Ghost, interestingly, didn't activate overtake during that second DRS straight, maybe indicating that he wasn't overly keen on fighting back against Simics at this stage. Obviously, you know, Simics isn't somebody he needs to fight with. And we've got Hausman out of a race. He's retired in the pits. So, obviously deciding that's enough for his race this evening. But I have to say, this is going to be interesting now, because Miku is now right behind Ghost as well, and Gavin's not too far behind either. So, it'd be interesting to see if Ghost changes his approach if Miku tries the same move that Simics did.
Yeah, just for the record, if Ghosts and Gavin finish on the same amount of points, Gavin is going to lose on countback, because Ghost has got more wins so far this season. And Ghost is put under pressure once again, and he's going to lose another spot now. I'm pretty sure he defends the inside line this time. And around the outside goes the Renault of Miku, still in the championship fight. And he closes the door, and that is some big contact. I hope there is no damage done to that Renault car, but that was quite aggressive from Ghost up ahead. He wanted to keep that position, and he did, but I'm not sure if that was really fair.
It just shows a change in approach. So like I said, he was never going to fight Simics, but he absolutely did not want to let Miku past him. And yeah, Miku had his run up the inside there, but Ghost just didn't really leave the room. So I think Miku might have got away with that damage. If he has, it's very minor. But that just shows when the championship's on the line how it affects the drivers. And Ghost now, I have to say, isn't looking particularly quick. I mean, you know, you can say fair enough, Simics and Miku are on softs, but so is Nino, and he's just driven up the road from him.
Yeah, Nino's shown some great pace. He doesn't want to let Gelato go away. But if you look at the skies, it's looking pretty overcast there. But due to the different tyre choices, I kind of doubt that it's going to start raining at some point, at any point in this race, to be honest. But if I'm seeing this right, it's looking quite overcast, and we're still in Brazil, so it might still rain.
Could that be a potential fault of Lewis then? He's starting on me hards and he's hoping that it does rain towards the end and he can just go straight from hards onto wets?
It could be. It could be. If it's planned to rain towards the end of the race, then he might have made an absolutely strategic masterclass with that one. He's currently last though, so that has to make a major impact. But no, now he's not last.
In the wall. Scholes is in the wall at the exit of turn 3. I believe that is. No, turn 4 rather. Turn 4, the same corner, of course, where Senna hit Vettel. And yeah, Scholes, I don't know if he actually made contact with the wall, but he definitely spun round and trying to get an angle, see if he's got damage. It's hard to see from the overhead view. But I think he's either got away with it or there is a little bit of damage there. It's definitely not massive damage. But either way, that's not what Scholes would have hoped for. He was telling us to watch his start. But his race after that hasn't gone particularly well, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, Miko needs to close back up to Ghosts now. He needs to be in front, especially due to the fact that he's on softs. But look at the sky, it's getting more and more overcast here, so might we see some rain? And that was surely a warning for Miko as he went off the track with all 4 tyres, I believe. But Ghosts currently doing quite a good job on the mediums to keep Miku so far behind. We've got 26 viewers, by the way, so huge thank you to everyone who's tuning in right
on the
now.
outside of Matt into turn 4, but Matt defends it expertly. Actually, I have to say, although he might get a run here, Kev, there's not really much room down this next short straight into turn 6, but Matt holds Kev off once again. Kev looking to recover because he did not have a good start. He qualified really well, but just couldn't find the traction on those medium tyres at the start. And he's trying to recover now, but he's finding it tough going against Matt, who we know is a pretty good defender.
Yeah, indeed, he is. And someone you would not want to race against if you want to get past them. But yeah, big thank you to all the viewers who have tuned in right now and are looking at this great championship decider here. For everyone who's just tuned in, currently as it stands, Ghost is in the lead of the championship and would take the championship with him in the end. But yeah, Ghost is still right behind Simics, and he's keeping that gap to Miku and keeping him in a safe distance. And if you look at Gavin, he's catching up slightly as well to Miku, so might that be the soft tyre going down? But we haven't really seen Gelato losing that amount of pace.
I just want to say a massive thank you to Leon as well, because he's actually informed us that for the race it is dry, rain, dry.
Ooh.
So we are expecting some rain here. So, but it then could dry up again. So who knows what's going to happen with strategy now?
That might be a big factor. That might be a great strategy call from Lewis then. Obviously he's down in 11th currently, but still on the hard tyres, if he gains an entire pit stop on anyone else. And Miku has got damage. I have the confirmation in the chat. And light green damage, that even though it doesn't sound like it's much, it really is affecting your car quite a lot on this game. So that explains why he's not really able to catch back up to Ghost.
And of course, if it does rain, I think the damage will affect him even more if it's wet. So I wonder if it comes to the pit stops, will he opt to have his front wing changed? Because it might be worth doing. You can see there's a massive train of cars now forming up behind Simics in third, who, after his lightning start, I think he's just starting to be pegged back ever so slightly. I have to say, though, Gelato is absolutely gone. 4.5 seconds up the road, and the only thing for him now is that he'll be hoping it rains before his tyres go off, because that could be an issue for those on softs.
That is true. That is really true. But dry, wet, dry is really sounds like a very interesting combination for the season finale. And currently, Miku is a bit closer once again to Ghost. So maybe on this lap, 4/10 of a second behind. So he might be close enough to maybe go for an overtake. And it has just started raining. Yeah.
Yep.
Is that too early?
For those on soft tyres, I think that's pretty perfect.
Yeah, it really is, but now the question is, when Codemasters F1 games, you never know how quickly the rain becomes heavy enough for the intermediate. So in some races, it takes 10 laps to the track to actually be ready for Inters.
Ghost is using overtake. Is he going to make a move on Civics? He does not. I thought he had overtake on for quite a while, so I think he fancied it, but just ran out of straight before they got to the corner, and obviously he's in a championship fight, so he doesn't want to risk a lunge up the inside, because that could go very wrong. But he's looking now like he really wants to get that third place back, and I have to say Simics is he's got quite a few cars behind him at this point of a race. But I have to say, in terms of the weather, that's just a Brazilian title decider every time, isn't it?
That is true, and I really love it. But yeah, now it depends on how strong that rain becomes in which amount of time, because it might become strong enough to be able to be intermediate ready within the next 5 laps, but it might still take another, I don't know, 8 to 10 laps maybe to then be ready. But look at Ghost. Ghost has got his overtake enabled. He's going down the inside into turn 1. He wants to regain that third spot now, and he's spun round.
No, I don't believe it. He went for the move. There was slight contact. There wasn't that much contact, to be fair, but I guess with the slippery conditions, he just couldn't recover the rear end in time. Oh, and he's got away without damage, so to speak, but he's lost a lot of time and positions, and that could be an absolute pivotal moment in the title race right there.
Oh, I think though that was his own fault. I'm not gonna lie. I think that looked like he just had a lock-up on the inside and then just slightly went into him. He had the space on the inside, but that is a huge hit to his championship fight here for Ghost, and he's dropped down to 8th, and he was in a championship winning position, and he wanted that P3 in that exact corner, but he was not able to keep his head cool enough to actually get the position. And now he's dropped to 8th, and now it's going to be a long way till his championship is back on a high and he's back in a championship winning position. But that is a huge hit to his chances.
And it is an interesting one. I wonder here, Leon's quite close to the back of Gavin, or he was a bit closer than he was, but now he's slipped back a little bit. Got yellow flag in sector 3, that's Puma, who I believe has gone round down towards the back of the field, so unfortunate for Puma there, and he's Matt Pitts. So, interesting.
Is that
he going for
Inters?
Inters?
Looks like it's still a bit early. Yeah, he's going for Inters.
Yeah, Matt maybe thinking I'm down towards the back of the field. But
he's
like you say, I think it's a little bit early for it. I don't think it'll pay off, but I don't know if there's a safety car or anything like that, that could potentially help him. But yeah, to be fair, all race, Ghost has just looked a little bit erratic. Like, you know, he's been playing catch-up all season, and he's got himself now in a position where the title he's got a really good chance of getting in. I wonder if the pressure's just started to mount on him, because I have to say, that's firmly put it right back in Gavin's, Gavin's got it in the bag at the moment, unless things go wrong for him as well, and there is a long way to go. DRS is disabled, so maybe Matt hasn't called this as wrong as we thought.
Yeah, Matt is gaining some time on shorts ahead, so it's looking good for the intermediate runners. And Gelato doesn't go into the pits. All right, interesting. Miku is the first one to pit.
And so does Gavin, and so does Leon. So none of the top 3 pitted. Gavin's got a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. I don't believe it. And Ghost is pitting as well, so is he going to get held up?
He probably is. Here? Let's see, Miku doesn't get held up. Miku has had a good pit stop. Miku's back in the fast lane. Let's see. Gavin comes
Definitely.
just about ahead of Leon there. But remember, he's got that 5-second penalty, and Miku might actually be in a position to win the championship
Ghost has
tonight.
gone on hards! Ghost is on hard
Oh
tyres!
no!
He's not on intermediates, it's turning into a disaster for Ghost. I don't believe it. That's surely ruined his race now. I have to wonder
He
with the
needs a
double
safety car.
stacking, has that caused the issue there?
I'm not sure. Usually it shouldn't. Usually it should just be a case of picking your tyres, and yeah, he's dropping down. Look at that. And
Oh no.
Ghost. He's proven to be so quick. He's proven to be so strong over the entire second half of the season. 3 race wins within the last 5 races, and now he does that in the finale. First of all, spin round, and then that's. I'm sorry to say, but it's an amateur mistake. I'm really sorry, but it really is.
Oh,
Nino.
Nino's... This pit lane's proving very tricky to get slowed down in time for. We've seen Lewis as well. He also got a penalty. So I have to say, I think the driver who's really going to help Gavin out here is Gelato, because in effect, Miku probably needs to win the race. But
Look at
right now,
Miku.
Gelato has
He's
quite
easily
an advantage.
in P2, comfortably. Look at that.
He's not too far behind Gelato. He's certainly closed in from where he was.
3.7 seconds in between him and Gelato. That was surely a gap of like 7 to 8. So you can see what kind of difference that made. And Nino has dropped behind Leon even. Nino's dropped from 2nd to 5th just by staying out one more lap longer than anyone else. And Simics has dropped from 3rd to 8th.
That one lap, so we thought Matt had called it too early. It turned out to be the exact opposite, and Ghost now, he has to hope for a safety car. That's his only hope. I honestly think if he wasn't involved in the title race, he probably would have retired at that point.
Surely.
But he's got to keep with it now. He's just got to hope that something happens to turn this race around, and you never know. With the fact that it could dry up later, there is always a potential for a safety car. But I have to say right now that Gelato is really holding the key to which way this title's going.
Yeah, I mean, still, something could still happen to Gavin, who knows, and then suddenly it could be Miku in the prime position for a championship. Currently only gaining 2 points on Gavin. He needs to gain 8 points, or to be exact, he needs to gain 9 points.
Oh, and here comes... Oh, it looked like, I think that's Cortez, who was looking like he was wanting to get past Matt. Matt finds himself up into 6th place now. So that just shows how well that worked out for Matt. He was near the back, and now he's up into 6th, but he's not too far behind 3rd place Gavin either. So, yeah, Matt really called that right, and I have to say, I take it back what I said. He proved us all wrong on that one.
That was a brilliant strategy call from him there. Quite a gamble as well, but it turned out to be the perfect moment to make a pit stop. And the difficulty for Nino now is, can he actually get past Leon here? Because he hasn't got the DRS, and he needs to be so close to actually make a move, but he is not close enough right now. And we've got yellow flags. That is Lewis.
Lewis, oh no, and that surely is any sort of lingering hopes he had of a title after. Of course, he needs to win and hope a miracle happens, really. And to be honest, he hasn't really looked like winning this race, if I'm being honest. And yeah, it's going to be tough for Lewis from here on in. So I think we can probably call it down to 3 now. But what's interesting for me here is that, of course, obviously we won't mention it there, but Gavin and Leon, of course, are on the same esports team at VRT. So I wonder if here Leon will try and do Gavin a favour and just sort of hold Nino and the likes back for him.
It might be, because Leon looked pretty quick on a straight. But we can see now if he maybe attacks him. But it looks like Nino's not close enough.
Now Leon's not using any...
Not close enough.
Leon's got tons of ERS, but he wasn't using any overtake there, so I don't think he's trying to pass Gavin at all. And you know, I think there is a little, although they're not in the same car in this in F5, I think there is a little bit of help going on there, and I don't blame him for that. You know, I think other teams would probably do similar things. But it's really up to Nino now, because we saw how quick he was before, and especially in the wet, he got pole by over 0.3 of a second. So Nino, he's really got to seize the initiative and try and. I think if he can get past Leon, he'll probably get past Gavin as well, because he does have more pace than him, I believe. But that call to go in a lap later for Inters has really affected Nino's race.
and Nino loses the rear end, and that is any hopes of an overtake on this straight gone for him. But as far as I know, as far as I'm correct, you are not allowed to help other drivers, theoretically, if you are not in the same team as them in terms of the championship. So that might go to the stewards at the end of the race, at the end of the season. And yeah, but I think Leon would not really care all too much, I think, because I mean it's the final race, he's got nothing to lose, and why wouldn't he help him win the championship in the end? And I think we can definitely say that he is helping him quite a lot right now. And then is
Lewis
Lewis
is
out.
out.
And might that be a safety car?
Or Ghost
It is.
right now.
It
yes,
is.
it is. And that brings Ghost right back into play.
So one of the championship contenders tonight, who had the least amount of chances to win it, has now retired and created a big opportunity for Ghost to fight back and to come back into play in this championship fight.
This just does a number of things, and I don't think any of it's good for Gavin, because it brings Ghost back into play, and it also helps Miku get right onto the back of Gelato, because up to that point, Gelato was pulling away from Miku, but now that gap's been completely eroded, so I think if anyone gets really affected for the championship by the safety car, it has to be Gavin. And of course, he's still got a 5-second penalty to serve.
Oh yeah, he has. Will he pit now? Yes, he does. That's a strategic decision to get rid of his 5-second penalty. And that puts Miku in a championship winning position at the moment.
Are you a little bit surprised Nino didn't do the same? Because he has a 5-second penalty too, doesn't he?
Well, Nino's got nothing to lose, I think, and it probably won't be the last safety car, he thinks. But yeah, it could have been a smart decision for him, but I think Gavin is just very careful now, because yeah, he just doesn't want to make any more mistakes and just wants to keep it clean, wants to keep it simple. And yeah, I think that might be the smartest decision. But remember, in the wet, it's so difficult to overtake. It's so difficult to pass people without the help of DRS if you're not significantly quicker than those guys. And Miku currently, I didn't expect that at this point of the race. We are at the halfway mark, and Miku is currently leading the championship.
Yeah, and he still won't have won a race if it finished like this. So
good point, actually.
So that is, I was actually going to mention that because I just think it's utterly astounding. I mean, obviously there's a long way to go, and you suspect Gavin and Ghost will be able to make their way through some of these cars. But yeah, if a race finished right now, Miku would be champion, and he hasn't got a win to his name, which is quite astonishing. But as I say, there is a long way to go, and I wonder now as well, will Leon go after Miku, and of course, what will Gavin and Ghost do? You know, it's easy enough saying they'll get through these cars, but they've now got to be aggressive in a situation where they probably don't want to be aggressive. So it's a really tough one for them now.
I just saw Wenting saying in the chat, Gavin just made the best decision ever. All he has to do is get a good restart, overtake some, and he'll win. That's a lot easier said than done, if I'm honest. Overtaking in the wet is met with so many risks and always comes with a big risk. We saw that in the dry even for Ghost when he tried to make the move for third and then spun round. But if it's in the rain, you have to take more risks, and that really makes it very, very difficult for Gavin now. But it's supposed to be drying up towards the end of the race again, so that might be a factor.
And the other thing as well is if Gavin gets an overtake wrong, he's likely that he'll then lose a position to the person behind him, and who is that person? It's Ghost.
Yeah,
so
this is so crucial. Everyone has to think about every single move they make. Everyone has to think twice if they really want to do that, if they really want to go for that position, risk crash and potentially the entire championship. I think right now Miku is in the most comfortable position of all of them, because he basically has to do not much, because Gelato has got the pace to win the race. He's got Leon behind. Miku was pulling away from him. So Miku currently is winning the championship, and now it's down to Gavin and Ghosts to make the moves. But now it's down to Gelato to restart this race for first. So we'll have to wait and see what happens then. Hopefully we'll get a clean safety car restart with no special incidents, with no incidents at all maybe. And now the race has restarted. It was
Super
a good
close.
restart. And look at Leon, he's already so close to Miku. Might he go down the inside now into turn 1? No, he thinks of it. Nino's trying to go around the outside then. That was a surprising move. Nino's got the inside line for turn 2 then. Oh, so close in between them. That's some great stuff in between those guys.
Ooh.
And Nino on the outside is getting hung
Gavin!
out to dry.
What's happened to Gavin? He's right at the back now. He's lost 2 positions off the start. Ghost and Puma are both ahead of him. So Gavin's had a shocking restart. Now Puma is going to go down the inside. Oh no, is that Ghost now going around the outside of Simics? It is.
Or can he get the traction down? Look at how close it is. Then he gets tapped. Simics got tapped from behind by Puma. And that gained Gavin another spot. Puma goes wide. Can Gavin take the position now? He can't risk all too much, but he risks quite a lot with that one. He goes down the inside. He gets the move done. It looks like he's got his nose ahead, but Puma fights back. He's fighting. He's fighting as if it was his championship to lose, but it really isn't. And Gavin is going to be furious in that seat right there. And now he gets the position back, and Simics is going to get past Puma as well, I think. No, he's not. He stays behind for now. Will he go down the inside into the last corner now? He has a little look. But that was quite a hectic restart. Let's see. And Gavin is under pressure from Puma once again, and that has not really gone Gavin's way.
No, definitely not.
Ghost.
It's Ghost now. Looks to make a move on
Kev
Kevin. Looks like he's got that. Oh, and now Scholes is making a move on Cortez. They're going side by side for the first couple of corners. It looks like Scholes has got it in the bag. He looks like he's lagging a little bit as well, which isn't the best. Cortez is going to come back at him though. I don't know if you're getting that lag as well, but I'm getting when I see Scholes. But he's got that 5th place over Cortez. Maybe Cortez slightly cautious there, if he can see what we can see. Obviously, you don't want to play dare too much with a lagging car. And we've got Puma. Is that Puma?
Yeah.
He's had a moment.
Puma spun round and once again on the curb.
Oh dear.
Kev is pitted onto softs.
It does look like it's drying up a little bit, but I don't think it's ready for softs yet.
I'm not sure. He's sliding quite a lot. But if I'm honest, there's not much spray coming off the car. He is sliding quite a lot, but maybe he wanted to risk something.
I've been asked a question if Miku, well, we both been asked questions, I suppose if Miku finishes second, where does Gavin have to finish, right? For Miku to win the championship, if he finishes second, Gavin has to be 8th or lower, and Ghost has to be 6th or lower. Which right now is happening.
Yeah, right now it has gone in Miku's favour, and he's got a 1.4 second gap, but there goes Ghosts down the inside then of Matt. That's another position for him, up to 7th he is. It really reminds me of Sebastian Vettel right now. Quite a fight back from Ghosts so far, and he gets up, if he gets up to 5th, then, or if he just gets up to 4th, then he would basically have the championship secured if he keeps Ghosts behind, but nothing is secured in F5.
Any of them can make a case for any of them right now. I think the one thing that's really let Gavin down here in this race has been both his start at the beginning of a race and then his safety car restart. Those starts he's been caught napping a little bit, and that's really where he's lost to places. So if he does go on to lose his championship here, I think that's where he'll look back and think that's where I lost it, because he really has handed Ghost the initiative every time we've had a start.
It feels like 2008, someone said in the chat. And yeah, and then if Ghost and Gavin pit on the same lap, rip Gavin then. And now it is time for dries, it looks like. DRS is enabled, and look at Schultz. Schultz is getting past Nino. Yeah, and none of them pits. Leon pits. Miku stays out. Miku this time stays out.
Ooh.
None of the Williams guys pitted. Both stayed out.
And Leon's going to be an interesting one here, because if he can get a significant undercut on those soft tyres against Miku, then he could potentially jump him, and that, of course, if Miku drops down to 3rd, that really puts him in danger.
It really does, so a risky decision from him then. And I can tell you, by the timings, it looks like Kev is gaining quite a lot. Yeah, he has gained. Obviously now he gains even more because Puma's in the pits, but he has gained before on the previous parts of the track as well. So it seems like the softs are quicker right now, and that might put Miku at risk of losing second place right now.
And a note on Nino as well, who Ghost is now right behind. Nino will, when he does pit for dries, will have to serve that 5-second penalty he's got.
Oh, yeah, he has.
So that'll be another spot for Ghost that he gains there. So it's looking pretty good for Ghost right now. He really has used this restart to his advantage, and I think everybody now is going to be coming in the pits. Yes, they are indeed. And now, of course, this role's reversed because Gavin is going to... Oh, Nino's got another penalty. Oh. So he's going to serve one. He's got another one. But yeah, that's really screwed Gavin over because he's lost track position to Ghost. He's now the one who's going to have to queue.
Oh, yeah, quite a lot as well. Quite a lot as well. Ghost had a pretty solid pit stop there. Let's see where... Yeah, and Leon is going to gain that spot on Miku. Miku just lost a spot by staying out one more lap. He's done the exact opposite of what he's done on the previous occasion where they pitted onto Inters, and now he has lost a spot. It seems like he didn't really take notice that Leon pitted, or that Leon had the chance of an undercut. And now Miku has to get back past Leon. But to be fair, Miku was gaining on Leon, so maybe he's able to pass him. But right now, Ghosts is in 5th. And remember, that's the position he needs if Miku finishes 2nd. So right now, it is Ghosts winning the championship. And it's a lot of maths right now going on for us. With 30 laps to go, we have no clue who's going to come out on top in terms of the championship in the end.
The only potential worry for Ghost right now is he's got Scholes behind him. And as we know, Scholes is lagging a bit. So I really hope that nothing happens in that regard, but it's something definitely to be wary of for Ghosts. And yeah, Miku's already closing up to the back of Leon. He'll know he needs to get a 2nd place back, and this is really coming down to the wire. But I have to say that double stack, I think, has probably ruined Gavin's title hopes.
Probably, yeah. Even though it looked like everything has swung in his favour so far in this race, and then suddenly he finds himself in 10th.
We've got Nino coming around the outside of Simics, and has he made that one stick? Yes, he has. And the outside of turn 4, and Nino takes P7, but of course he's now just got to drive flat out now to try and get in as much as he can before that penalty comes into effect. Oh, and Simics has gone round! Simics has gone round, and it's a good job he ghosted, otherwise Matt would have gone with him.
And Gavin's got a
penalty, and I wonder if that's in part, he knows how desperate the situation is, and maybe perhaps just overdriving a little bit in his effort to make it up. But well, right now, if it were to finish as it is now, Ghost would be champion.
Yeah, even if Miku would get past Leon now, which is looking pretty possible now on this lap, because look at how close he is already at that 2nd straight. He is definitely an overtaking opportunity if he is close enough. It looks like Leon has got quite a good exit there, and he's got a really tight line through turn 3 then. But look at that, Miku has got his overtaking able, but he knows he can't take too many risks. He can't risk too much, and Schultz is still close to Ghosts, but Ghosts is catching up to Cortez, and we know what happened when Ghosts tried to pass someone earlier on in this race.
Another thing as well is that Nino might be catching up to this trio as well, and we know how quick he is. He just did the fastest lap of the race, so this is really, really tense right now, and Ghost is in one of those positions where he doesn't want to go for it, but at the same time, he might need to pass Cortez just as a bit of security, really, against the threats behind him. It's one of those, really. We saw how cautious Lewis Hamilton was in 08, of course, when he nearly lost the title being overly cautious, and it's such a difficult one right now. It looks like Gelato has checked out again up front, so really Miku has no hope of winning this race now, so for him he needs to get past Leon and then just hope things go his way behind him.
Don't know what
but Gelato has just got a penalty, so
Cortez has picked up a penalty though as well. And let's see, Cortez is under a lot of pressure from Ghost right now. That move needs to be clean. That move needs to be absolutely on merit, and he's going for it. They're still side by side. That might be risky, and they make contact. Good save from Ghost though, and he's struggling to get past drivers without making contact.
This is really, really tense now, and he knows he knows he can't afford to have that contact again. Another half spin like that, and he's throwing everything away. Right now, he's doing enough. Maybe he doesn't know he's doing enough. I mean, with the math situations, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, we barely know what's going on in terms of the championship. So, but yeah, he's just got to be so careful. And I keep looking at Scholes behind him, and I do worry slightly.
I feel like they're walking on some very thin ice, and they're just waiting for that moment for the ice to just crack, to fall down into that water. And it's looking good for Ghost this time, though. He's trying to look for the outside line into turn one, and that's close. He doesn't leave much room, but he leaves enough to not make Cortez spin round, and that is him up into fourth. But can Cortez fight back now? Now he's got the DRS. He's barely got any ERS left, though. And there goes Scholes, then down the inside. Oh, he backed out. This is so tense.
Maybe I saw that from a weird angle. It wasn't the best angle I got, but it maybe looked like Ghost maybe moved across a little bit there.
Look at Nino.
Nino now coming up the inside of Scholes, and he's sort of caught Scholes napping there. And this is another danger for Ghost, because Nino will just want to overtake these cars as quickly as possible. He isn't going to care 1 ounce about the championship or anything like that. So, yeah, this is nervy times for Ghost. He's definitely not got this wrapped up, and of course, we've got to keep an eye out on Leon versus Miku, which is still very close as well for P2.
We've got still 25 viewers in the chat, which is great to see, by the way. And with now 8 laps left in this race, let's see what happens. And Nino,
here comes Nino,
looking for the inside of Cortez.
Down the inside.
Oh, there's going to be contact, and Nino can save it. Wow.
That's incredible. That will really help Ghost as well. He'll be able to pull away from this at the moment. That was really, like, Cortez looked like he defended the inside, but Nino saw a car's whip and tries to squeeze his way around it as he now goes to the outside turn 4. There's more wheel-to-wheel contact. Nino goes off the track. Scholes is right there now as well. Oh no, and he might lose a place that he gained on the previous lap. But Nino's going back up the inside. Oh, and there was nearly contact again. And Scholes thinks better of putting up the inside, but Nino is definitely not taking any prisoners.
Well, Nino is if I didn't know any better, I would think that those 3 guys are fighting for the championship, because they're certainly acting like they are, and yeah, they're throwing everything at each other. And I think now this lap it is going to be P5 for Nino. Then 7 laps to go in this race, and Nino tries to make the move. Cortez defends the inside line.
Miku's making a move for P2. He's alongside Leon. He's got the inside line then for turn 2, and he gets the move done. So Miku is up into P2. Oh, and we've got an incident further down. Is that Scholes? Scholes has gone round into the wall, so that gives Gavin a spot, and it effectively ends Scholes' chances. But Miku up into second, but that isn't enough right now.
It is enough against Gavin, but it's not enough against Ghosts. But keep in mind, Ghost still has got Nino behind him. Keep in mind, there could still be penalties, but Nino has got a 5-second penalty in his bag. So that might save Ghosts here, but who knows about pens. So we'll have to keep that in mind. I don't really want to look. I want to keep it as a surprise to the end of this race.
I won't say anything then, because I just have looked.
Yeah, well, I've got enough maths in my head right now, so I don't want to have any more maths, if I'm honest. But yeah, Miku needs to defend the position for now, though, because Leon is not letting go of him, and Leon is trying to get back past. Maybe Miku defends the inside line, though. But now, look at how close Leon is. He compromised his run through turns 1 and 2, and that might give Leon behind a chance now. But Leon has got barely any ERS, neither has Miku, and Miku defends the position for another lap. And look at how quickly Nino is catching up to Ghosts ahead. Look at that.
Yeah.
And if he can pull Cortez along, that might put Ghosts in quite a dangerous position once again.
Well, of course, Ghost might not be aware of what he needs to do. He'll know that Miku's in and around the championship bid, and I certainly wouldn't be wanting to try and work out complex maths while driving around this track in a league race. So, and of course, we've seen already how aggressive Nino is.
Oh,
what will Ghost do here?
That was quite a drift from Nino. Reminded me a bit more of Fast and Furious rather than Formula 1. But that just shows how much on the edge Nino is, and that puts him under pressure from Cortez behind now. He just lost half a second because of that. Wow.
And here comes Leon. He's fighting back against Miku. He's going for the outside line to turn one. He's not perhaps made it. Miku just holding the line there, but he will have another go. Down the next straight to turn four. He's right behind Miku. Surely here, there's nothing Miku can do to keep the position. He defends to the inside as much as he can. Leon's got the outside line and breaks later and gets the move done around the outside. So that's another twist thrown in. As Miku loses that second place, he inherits it back. But I don't think this battle's done just yet. And in fact, Ghost is now gaining on the pair of them.
4.5 laps left in this race. And it's still also close in the championship. And Miku has just lost a big chance. And yeah, Ghost is really close now. Ghost could get into that DRS window. Nino has lost quite a lot of momentum, it looks like, after that mistake he made. So yeah, let's see if he can somehow get back into the rhythm. But right now, Leon will be put under pressure from Miku. Look at the amount of ERS that Leon has got. He's got literally none left, and Miku is not using his ERS at all on this straight. That might be smart. Matt has gone past Nino, but I want to keep an eye on this one right here, because now this is another chance for Miku to fight back and maybe gain the position back. He's not using his ERS though, so Miku is saving it for one more lap, and then maybe tries and goes for it on the next lap. We've only got 4 laps left in this race now.
Nino's playing serious dead over rear of his car. He's had another slide there. He's alongside Matt going into a double right-hander, sorry, and they're still alongside each other. Who's going to get the higher ground? Nino's slightly ahead. Oh, and there's a bit of contact there, and Matt had to back out. But these lot have got so engrossed in their own battle, it's effectively relieved all the pressure off Ghost, who now, if anything, is right behind Miku. And what will he do here? I mean, surely he knows, obviously, if he's right behind Miku, but he doesn't really need to overtake him.
Ooh.
It's not stopping him trying, though. Looking at that drift.
Oh my lord! 3 laps left, and you do this. Just this is a bit too tense. But currently, Ghost has got it in the bag because Gavin is nowhere near any one of those guys ahead, and it looks like he'll gain more than 2 points, or he'll gain more than 1 point on Gavin, and he needs to gain 2 points. If they're equal on points, he will win on the countback. So all he needs to do is now just keep that 2-point difference.
Oh my goodness me. What is going on between these pair here? We've got Nino and Matt at it again. With Cortez looking on, Nino runs wide. This is getting super aggressive now. And Matt tries to hold it around the outside. Again, they're going side by side to a double right-hander. Nino looks like he's got it this time, but Matt's not giving it up. And he has to give him room, Nino. And I am shocked that they're still both running in a straight line at this point, because Matt still not wants to fight back, but Nino has got it.
Wow.
For now, but God knows, it'll probably be different this time.
That is brilliant, lads. That's an epic fight for an epic season in the end. But we've got 2 laps left where those guys cross the line right here, and 2 more laps for Ghosts until he wins that championship. If now nothing goes wrong, we've got a yellow flag. That is Kev spun round.
Kev. Oh no, he was running in a points position. He'll still be in 10th, but he's lost a place to Puma there as a result of that. And oh, they're still going at it. Cortez is almost just looking at these two and thinking, I'm just waiting for you to inevitably crash.
Well, they weren't far away from it, but it looks like they are keeping it clean so far.
No! Looks like Nino had a slide there halfway through the corner. Are his rear tyres okay?
They might be a bit overheated. Maybe he locked up the rear tyres as well, but that was interesting, I'd say. That was quite close, but they kept it clean so far, so I hope they will for one final lap then. And just to have a quick word about Gelato, he's been dominating this race, and he's done great so far in this race. Yellow flags in Sector 1, that is Schultz.
Yep, Scholl's got the fastest lap and then has decided to go for a spin.
And Miku has decided to go for an overtake on the last lap of this race then. As he starts it, he's going for the outside into turn 1. He lets Leon run out wide. He's got the outside line now. Tries to make another switchback work. Ah, oh, was that a bit too much of a switchback? Did he slow down just that little bit too much? But he's in the slipstream. He's got the overtake enabled. He's got the outside line now for turn 4. Can he make the move stick? No, he can't.
He's got to be careful. Ghost is right there as well. Surely Ghost just has to stay behind now. He doesn't need to do anything about this. But we've seen already, he doesn't seem to be stopping him from trying something. Miku's going for it on Leon, and that was just a gap that wasn't always going to close. And I wonder if that's just a bit of desperation sinking into Miku's driving there.
I could understand it, because if you're stuck behind another car, it can be so frustrating, especially if you're in a championship fight. But let's just take a little look at Gelato, who is about to lap Shortston as well. And Gelato comes across the line. What a dominant win for the end of the season. Great job by Gelato. He wins the race. But here come P2, P3 and P4. Leon comes home in second. Miku's got to take third. But Ghosts is going to take the championship and 4th place. And he is our C26 champion.
It was incredible from Ghost. It looked at the start that he'd almost thrown it away when he had that contact with Simics where he sort of understeered into him. But all sorts happened in that race. We had weather changes, we had incidents. Gavin just couldn't hook up the safety car restart as he would have wanted, and then had to double stack. Miku just got caught in a battle with Leon in the end, and it just all... I have to say, I think the moment for me where Ghost really wrapped that up was the safety car restart. He really nailed the overtaking there when he really needed to.
Yeah, it really looked like he was out of that championship fight when he made that error, when he spun round and dropped from 4th to 8th and lost his championship leading position. And then also when he pitted onto hards, and that safety car completely saved him. And it's basically, it sums up his season. You know, the first half really doesn't go his way, but then in the second he shows what he's made of. And in the end, that second half was enough to get him onto that first spot in the championship. And speaking of first spot, that is Gelato taking his trophy and deservedly winning the final round of the season. I think Brazil is really a race you would like to win. And then that's Leon in P2, which has who has made, I'd say, Miku's life a bit harder. Miku must be quite frustrated, but still a great race from him. P3, he tried everything within his power, but in the end it certainly wasn't enough. But there you have it. That is your final finishing result of the season 26 finale for F5 here in Brazil. It's Gelato taking the win ahead of Leon. Then Miku tried everything but couldn't win the championship in the end. That points gap in between him and first was just too much. Ghosts in the end, our season 26 champion, comes home in 4th after it looked like he has lost the championship. He won it in the end with a great comeback drive. Then we've got Matt in P5, Cortez in P6 after a great battle with Nino there. Then we've got Gavin in 7th, our championship leader when we entered the race. The race really hasn't gone his way in the second half of the season, and yeah, he might have to rethink some decisions he made throughout the whole course of the season when he was helping his teammate, probably not thinking he would really be in the championship fight. But then we've got Nino in 8th, then Kev in P9, and Puma comes home in P10, and what a race that just I can't find the words, if I'm honest. That was just, it really summed up F5 with what was going on over the entirety of this season. 10 different winners in 14 races. I mean, that's just great.
And I have to say, we just got someone's just posted for us as well the provisional final results. Obviously, stewards' inquiries can all change that. But yeah, Ghost on 90, Gavin on 88, and Miku on 86. Just 4 points separating the top 3 at the end. And I have to say, Ghost came out on top, but I think the other 2, Gavin and Miku, deserve a lot of credit as well. They've both had excellent seasons.
Yeah, that was quite a finale, and I'm going to invite the guys now. So sadly, I'm not sure. Well, I hope it is. It's confusing with some of the gamer tags, if I'm honest. Yeah, it should be. Should be JT Gelato in the end, and should be the right one. I hope so at least, and people are joining now. So we've got Ghosts in, we've got Leon in, just waiting for Miku and waiting for Gelato and Gavin, obviously. If those guys would join, I'm not sure if Miku and Gavin are really in the mood to join the interviews. I wouldn't blame them if they won't.
It's been a roller coaster of emotions in
It
that
really
race.
has. It really has. But it seems like sadly we won't have a race winner here then. Seems like it's not going to be a long interview. But yeah, that would be nice if you
I might
could.
have to. I might have to leave and rejoin.
Yeah, just go ahead. Then we'll just
Yeah.
start the interviews with
Okay.
Leon then. And yeah, it seems like Gelato's not joining the interviews. And then we would start with Leon. So, first of all, congratulations on a really strong finish to the season. Really strong finale from you. Good pace today, P2 in the end, and an AlphaTauri 1-2. And you really made the life of Miku quite hard by holding him off quite a lot. But yeah, your pace was good. But were you thinking about the championship at all of the other guys, or were you just doing your own race then?
Um, well, I obviously knew of the whole championship situation. I knew Miku was in it. But yeah, I think for the first stint, I was behind Miku. I couldn't really make any gain on him because it was just a DRS train before the rain. Then I gambled on the intermediates early, I think. And that kind of benefited. I was still behind Miku. Actually, I had mad pace in the wet. Um, then again, I gambled on the softs, and that paid out and ended up being just ahead. And then I still wasn't thinking about the championship, to be honest, because I knew stuff had gone on behind with Ghosts and Gavin, so I was like, I'm just going to focus on my own race. There's a podium here. And yeah, the battle between me and Miku was fantastic, and I'm happy I got P2.
Yeah, it was quite entertaining for us to watch as well, and it was obviously a lot on the line for Miku. Not so much for you, but when you started this race, when you loaded into the lobby, what was your goal for today? Just to finish the season off on a high, or just to do what you can and see what you got?
Well, to be honest, my immediate expectation was to actually finish the race because I had quite a bad run of DNFs. So I was just hoping for probably some points, which is what I've had all season. But then, like, qualifying, it's like a usual qualifying for me, and then just in the race, everything kind of just went my way. And I think I'm better in the wet than I am in the dry, and that may have influenced it. But yeah, I'm over the moon with P2, but I didn't expect a podium at all.
So it was a really strong showing for you. You kept your head cool. In the end, P2 is a really strong way to finish off the season. But looking into next season, where do you expect to be in terms of divisions? Do you expect to return to F5? And if you do, what are your expectations for next season? Maybe just set your marks a bit higher. Maybe fight for the championship next season.
I think I've been F5 because I've not been overwhelming in F5. It's our first podium. If every single race next season's wet, I might win the championship. But with it being, well, it's a shorter calendar, a few tracks I'm not a fan of. I think I'll still be in F5 probably. Hopefully, trying to get a few more podiums and just one. But I think the championship might be a bit far fetched, but we don't know yet.
Yeah, so yeah, Jake, if you don't have anything to add.
Um, yeah, I mean, congratulations on the P2, of course, and obviously, I think it's probably the first time I've seen you fighting at the sharp end since you're in F7. Has it been a difficult transition into F5?
Yeah, well, obviously F7 you were there. It was pretty comfortable for me, I would say, even though I had Larkin who was beating me most of the time. Yeah, it was definitely a reality check. As soon as I came into F5, I was struggling for points. And it showed the pace difference. And I think over time I've got quicker and adapted to the pace of F5, but it's just come out a bit too late. And as I said before, if in the wet, I think probably at the sharp end pace-wise, but if it's dry, I'm off in the mid-table. So yeah, it was a reality check when I first changed.
Alright, and yeah, again, just well done on the result tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah, once again from me, congratulations, and then good luck for next season. And yeah, Jake, if you want to take over with our third place driver in the end.
Yep, so Miku, congratulations on P3. Obviously, it's not the championship you might have hoped for or wanted at the start of the race, but you put up a great effort. And how would you sum up that last race for you?
Shocking quality, absolutely impossible that one. Then the start was fantastic with the softs, gained like 3 or 4 positions, so I loved that. Then I was, well, Sismik, I guess, overtook Ghost, and then I was trying to overtake Ghost, but we had a bit of an incident on lap 5, and I got damaged from that for the rest of the race, so I'm not really happy with that, because I feel like I could have challenged Gelato better at the safety car restart. But, well, it is what it is. And Leon, my battle with Leon was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. It was good racing. It's a shame that I couldn't overtake him, but he defended well. Clean, fair battle.
You must be proud of the spirit you showed in that last race. And over the season as a whole, obviously, although you're in championship contention, you haven't actually won a race, but you've been so consistent near the front. A season as a whole, how would you sum it up?
It has been alright. Yeah, it's so typical of me to not win a league race. Yeah, I don't know. It went better than I expected. I really didn't expect to be fighting for the championship at the start of the season, but those podiums really helped me, which I got at the start. So, yeah. Now it's a shame that I missed the Italian GP, but yeah, it doesn't matter. I had the chance to not do so bad. Well, I got again damage in USA, so it really wasn't my fault there as well. So I don't know. Good season.
And looking ahead to next season, what would be your aim for next season?
Well, the thing is that I probably won't race next season because I have compulsory army service starting from January 4th, so that's pretty much it for me, I guess.
Okay, well, great effort throughout the entirety of the season, and I wish you all the best with that for sure. And I think you should be proud of the way your season's gone, even though ultimately you haven't won the championship.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, just wanted to say congratulations on P3 today and P3 in the championship as well. You put up a great fight, a great show, and yeah, one of the most consistent drivers throughout the entire season. Even though you didn't win a race, it was still a very consistent and strong season from you. And yeah, congratulations for that as well from my side.
Yeah, thank you. And I forgot to say that thank you for commentating for this whole season, so thank you very much.
We always try to make it as entertaining as possible. So yeah, it's good to get some good feedback. So yeah, thank you very much. All right then, I think to go on to our next driver, I think we should just yeah, just start with go ahead with the next driver who finished the race, and that was right behind Miku. And in the end, that is our champion, and that is Ghosts. And first of all, a huge congratulations for winning the championship, a great achievement, and just yeah, not probably not the way you expected to win the championship. Just talk us through that crazy race you had.
Yeah, it was just a complete mix of emotions. The first 10 laps felt good, and then when I had that spin, I don't know who it was with, but yeah, it kind of got me down. But I just thought to myself, best thing to do is just drive the laps and hope for a safety car. Did happen, got back into the race, did a few overtakes. I apologize to Miku for what I did. I was a bit, I would say I was a bit aggressive, but I thought I had the corner, so I turned in. Um, the yeah, I can't believe it. I can't believe the way I've come back at that. No way. I wouldn't ever, like 4 weeks ago, I'd never thought I'd be in this position. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, I said it on stream while the race was going. This race was really summed up your entire season, having troubles at the start, the first half not really going your way, but then in the second half, you've always had the pace, but in the second half, things have started to go your way and things have really gone your way. And you managed to get the results together, get 3 race wins within the last 5 races, now within the last 6 races. But now today, again, fourth place, and the only really bad race for you was in China in the second half of the season. And today, once again, so many things have gone wrong, and that is that just the fighting spirit you've got in yourself, or is that just something else?
Um, I mean, I got to give a thanks to Leonis because they've kept my head held up high. Especially that first season, every week I'd get a message from Simon saying, "Keep your head up, just focus on next week," and it all worked out. Also, Sparks has helped me so much recently with tips and things. I've been practicing with him last like 4 or 5 weeks, so that's helped massively. So yeah, it's all going well.
Well, it's always nice to have some support, and now, um, that race. How stressful was it? Because so many things were going on, and did you know about the position you had to finish in, and did you know what you had to do?
I saw your tweet before the race. I did see the tweet. I did, yeah, I did have. After I saw that, I knew where I had to finish. But yeah, it was just at the end there. I wanted to go. I wanted to try and fight for P2, but at the same time, I knew I'm good friends with Leon, and wanted him to get his first podium. So I didn't want to say. I said because we was all in the party. I said to him, "All right, I won't fight you, but I'll try and get Miku. I'll put Miku under pressure to give you a bit of space and a gap." So I tried to put Miku under pressure, and then on the last lap, he kind of, I think Miku went for a move on the last lap, and Leon cut him off. Well, I wouldn't say he cut him off, but like he came across,
Yeah, it
and
was a big one.
yeah, and then I kind of, I thought I'd try and go for a move, but at the same time, I knew my championship was sealed in the current position, so I just left it there.
Yeah, well, you always have to keep your mind clear, and probably it wasn't easy for you to make so many decisions within such a short amount of time. And you had some moments we saw, but still, in the end, you managed to get the position you needed, and that was just a great show you put on there. And with now the championship secured, with the season over now, what are your expectations going into next season? Where do you think you will be placed in terms of divisions, and
Uh,
what are your targets then?
I mean, hopefully F4, because my plan over the next couple of months is to turn off line. So yeah, if I can get to F4, turn off line, and then hopefully with the new, because I'm getting a wheel upgrade soon, so hopefully I'll be able to turn off line and get up to speed, and then maybe move on to bigger things. So yeah, hopefully I'm hoping for F4, maybe F3, I don't know.
Sounds like you're very much down to earth. And yeah, Jake, anything to add? Any more questions for our season 26 F5 champion?
What was going through your head when they stuck you on hard tyres just as everyone was going on to intermediates? I mean, that safety car definitely really helped you out there.
Yeah, I was I kind of got too excited with I heard Gavin shouting down the mic saying he got a 5 second penalty, so I wasn't concentrating on myself. I was just thinking, yeah, I'm in the right position. And then when I saw them put the hards on, I'm thinking, right, yeah, we're in a bad position here. So I just thought I'd just do the lap and just keep driving. But yeah, that hard thing really went bad. I forgot to change over to the inter tire.
I mentioned as well, if perhaps if a championship hadn't have been on the line for you in that position there, I'd have almost half expected drivers in that position to retire. Do
Oh
you
yeah,
reckon if you would have
yeah,
done that if it weren't for the championship?
100%. Yeah, I would 100%. Yeah, I wouldn't. If I went on the hards and I was like, what? I think I was like 25 seconds behind the next car. Yeah, I was definitely retiring if I wasn't in that position.
No worries. Congratulations on the championship.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, once again from my side, huge congrats for winning the championship in the end. You didn't give up, and you showed some very good fighting spirit in the end. And yeah, congrats, and I hope you get a good season when we head into season 26.
Yeah, hopefully. Just see if I can get line sorted out first.
All right then. Yeah, Jake, I think we've got one more driver waiting in line in our little commentary box here, in our little interview box.
Yeah, Gavin, unfortunate obviously not to win the championship. So many things happened in that race. I guess how are you feeling first and foremost?
I can't even describe it. I feel happy for Ghost, of course. Just disappointed in myself about the strategies, and had a stupid 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That's about it. Got nothing else to say.
The things that caught my eye, obviously there was quite a lot of things that happened in that race. The one thing I noticed was, particularly off the start and then the safety car restart, you did lose a few positions on each occasion. Was that something? Was there any reason behind that, or was it just maybe slightly sluggish on the starts?
I went on the outside of Kef, I think, and I just basically kind of lost the backhand coming out of exit of turn 2.
We mentioned obviously that it was obviously the Williams had already sealed the constructors, and obviously you two were going for the title tonight. How much it really seemed to affect the race, the fact that you two were in the same team, because everyone needed to pit at the same time, and it seemed to mean that you guys had to double stack at various intervals. Obviously, you really got caught out on the final occasion. How much was that kind of a final nail in the coffin, really?
Well, when we went for the inters, when we went for the first stop, Jordan made a mistake to go on the hards because he forgot to put it on the inters. So I thought the championship is in back. But yeah, in the end, we had a safety car. When it stopped raining, I literally went past the pit lane and it said change strategy to softs, and I was right behind Go. So I had to double stack, and then I knew my championship was over.
You should have heard the scream when the safety car came out.
I can imagine. I can imagine some was unbroadcastable. What was
We've all
being
been at the
said?
party the whole season. Like all me, Gavin, and Leon have been at the party every week for like the last 10 weeks.
I couldn't imagine being in the party with my title round going into the final race. So fair play.
It's all mutual. It's all right.
And as well for you looking ahead to next season, obviously not the finish to the season you'd hoped for, but surely a lot of positives to take away going forward into season 27.
Yeah, definitely. Just a shame, but that's how life is. More seasons are coming up. Still my first season, so yeah.
Yeah, a lot to take away from this season. And is there any words for your teammate after this final race? Obviously, you both sealed the constructors at the last race, and any words for him?
Yeah, well done, of course. So the championship is just like the comeback from you because you didn't race like 3 or 4 times. Just incredible. I thought I had the championship in the back, like in the final 2 rounds when I saw that only Micheluzzi was my championship rival, and then you came back in the USA and also this race. I was just completely unlucky with the double stack and the strategy. So yeah.
Yeah,
Well, we
and just
go on. Sorry.
okay, as I say, just as well, personally, thank you to the support you've shown me as well. Obviously, we are on the same esports team, so yeah, without being too biased, I'm gutted for you. But I mean, at the very least, it's a very entertaining championship finale, which I think will be seen by a lot of people, both live and afterwards.
Can I just say,
Yeah.
you commentators are absolute goats. Like you two are together as like impeccable. I love watching every week.
Oh, thank
Brilliant
you.
to
I really
watch.
appreciate it.
That's great to hear.
Brilliant
That
to watch.
really is great to hear. Yeah. Well, just some words for Gavin as well. Congrats on a great season for you as well. Just very unlucky at a lot of occasions throughout the season, but fair play to you. You kept your head high throughout the entirety of the season, and I think you've got many positives to take away. And I think, yeah, you'll have a great next season. And I'm very confident that you will get your chance to get a championship in PSGL. And yeah, just congrats on your entire season as well.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, of course there will be like a chance to win another, not another one because it didn't win, but a chance to win a championship. But just unlucky, and I think next season will be even more competitive, and I don't know what tier will be placed in. I think with quicker drivers, more competitive drivers, so hopefully there will be a chance. Otherwise, I need to wait and just pick the chance when I Jesus pick up the chance when I have the chance.
And a lot of respect, I think, as well to both yourself and Miku, because I think many drivers in your situations wouldn't have wouldn't have wanted to talk after that. So a lot of respect for that.
Hmm. Yeah, of course, I'm kind of disappointed in myself, but I need to keep professional and don't like being toxic or something after the race. You need to like still have respect for the winner, who was the best all season around, and I don't want to like piss myself off. Of course, I'm kind of again disappointed because I was leading the championship for a long time since Retica left. Yeah, it was a good close championship fight, and in the end, Ghost won. Me P2 and Micheluzzi P3 with only 4 points separate, I think.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Well, I think now it's time for some goodbyes for the final speech of the season. Then, if I get the word for it. So, yeah, I think that has been quite a season here in F5. My first time commentating F5, and yeah, it was great fun for me to commentate over it. And yeah, Jake, obviously, huge thank you for joining me week in, week out. I really enjoyed commentating with you, and I think we were really lucky to get F5 to be allowed to commentate F5, and probably the most competitive and most exciting of all the divisions in PSGL which we've got. And yeah, just want to thank all the drivers as well who took part throughout the entire season, who turned up, who gave us a great show, who made it easy for us to commentate. And yeah, huge congrats to anyone involved, and especially to the admins in PSGL in general.
Yeah, absolutely. Massive thank you to everyone, and as well, I'll keep it short and sweet, but I'm sure everyone's probably watching already, but we've currently got the F1 title decider on as well now. If you've got your breath back from this one, be sure to check that out as well.
Yeah, well, with that being said, I hope you join us when we are back next season. I hope Jake and me will be back in the commentaries box next season as well for hopefully a similarly exciting division when we head into season 27 then. And yeah, I just once again want to thank everyone who was involved. And yeah, I'm hoping to see many of you guys in the chat and many of the drivers in F5 back on track next season. And yeah, with that being said, we won't see you next week. We have a break in between season 26 and season 27, so make sure to stay tuned for placements and everything. The calendar is already out if you want to check that out. And yeah, make sure to check out the other finales as well. And with that being said, we'll see each other next season, hopefully. I hope those guys in the chat will be back next season. And yeah, with that being said, goodbye and take care. Till next season.